Ladies and gentlemen, nearly 24 hours later, I'm still disappointed, angry, and genuinely upset with the Leeds United board. Why didn't we make any attacking signings? We've made this season that was already hard even harder. I've got a lot to speak about. Let's get into this. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Hope you've all had a decent day after the disaster which was yesterday at the end of the transfer window. Leeds United needed to make signings. Anyone who's telling you otherwise is a liar, because everybody knows that Leeds United needed to make some attacking signings, and we will speak about that today because I'm still genuinely not happy. Before we get into it, smash the like button for me. Yeah, it will really help me out, because I never thought I'd be this actually upset and annoyed about football, and I genuinely am. Also, subscribe if you're new as well, and get your comments in, your thoughts. I'm sure you got a lot of thoughts over the last 24 hours. I've been all over social media, especially on my TikTok and Twitter and things like that, talking about Leeds United transfer window. I haven't come on here and spoke to you guys about what's going on, because obviously it was the Harry Wilson debacle. That deal went on into 7 o'clock when the deadline happened. You know, Emi Buendia rejected us. We got rejected left, right, and centre. And how come the 49ers still didn't supply Daniel Farke with what he needed, what he's been crying out for since Jorginho Rutter left? He's been saying we haven't replaced him. They took the risk in January. It paid off. Leeds United, Daniel Farke went back to the Premier League. We got up. We had the best team in the Championship. Now we're the underdogs. Now we need all the best signings and the best equipment to stay in this league. And they haven't delivered. And they've let Daniel Farke, you and me down. And if you think otherwise, I just... You know, I'm not negative about the season. I'm really not negative. We've had a positive start, but I think everyone watched that Newcastle game and said, we're a couple of attacking signings away from having a decent season here. That's what I looked at. I was like, if there's someone who can find the back of the net, somebody could create something a bit more, a 10 or a decent winger and a striker, Leeds United might be fine. I'm looking at Sunderland and thinking they made two transfers inside the first sort of hour of deadline day yesterday. And I'm not completely trying to compare our transfer window to Sunderland's. They had a lot more to spend because their wage bill wasn't as high as Leeds United. But similarly, I wanted us to do something. We needed to do something. And when you're chasing Harry Wilson, which Harry Wilson's a decent player, don't get me wrong, and he'd be a very good, efficient winger for Leeds United, but he's not a marquee. He's not a groundbreaking signing that, Parag promised Leeds United and Leeds United fans. He said, we're going to spend as much as possible to keep this team in the league. Yes, we've spent £100 million. And yes, that is a lot of money, of course. And I'm not actually having a go at the rest of the window. Jacobiol, we haven't seen much of him, but it looks like he's going to be a decent signing. Goodmanson looks brilliant at left back. Anton Stack looks brilliant in the middle of the park. We've got Sean Longstaff as well. Mort Mecherin, who looks a decent striker. Similarly, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We've got Okafor as well, and Sebastian Bornau, who we haven't watched too much of. It's a decent window, but they have ruined it. They've ruined their credibility by not sort of keeping to their promise of buying attackers like they said they were going to do. If they just kept their mouth shut and said, we're not getting in attackers, fair enough. But you've lied. And I know they've tried. Don't get me wrong. I know they've tried. I know they're not sitting on their ass. And the thing is, I put out a tweet saying, all we've posted today is Ilya Gruev's heat map. And like last night, JB left on a permanent deal to Hull. They didn't tweet it. They didn't want the backlash. I'm frustrated also because Daniel Farke, the man who is going to be the scapegoat, because tactically, he can be a bit inept. He can. He's not the greatest manager of all time, but you've made his job 10 times harder. You're getting the fans on his side. Oh, not on his side, sorry. On his back, should I say, because he's an easy scapegoat now. If Leeds United don't start to do well, it will be Daniel Farke. And yes, he's not fully off the blame. He still picks the team. He can only work with what he's got, though. He was promised attacking signings. He wanted attacking signings. He's coming out and saying in press conferences in pre-season, even the press conference after Newcastle, the post-match, we need signings. And that's what he wanted. And it was an absolute disaster end of a window. It was absolutely terrible. The only movement all day was Darko JB to Hull. I don't care about, Barron Cross and Graham Smith putting out that they tried so hard, but at the end, Fulham just said, don't care. You shouldn't be taking it down to the last day when you're trying to go toe-to-toe with Fulham for Harry Wilson. That, for me, is not showing ambition that they're promising. I like the signings that we've made. I like the new stadium plans that they're deciding to do. There's ideas there. But honestly, yesterday was an absolute joke, and I'm happy that I didn't come on here and speak, because I saw a lot of Leeds United content creators going live and things, and they were reacting to. I mean, some of them were live all day, and nothing happened. It's like I don't get what happened, and they have. If you're looking this now, and I'm not thinking negatively of the season. The season so far for me, I've been impressed, but we needed a goal scorer. We've got the lowest shots on target in the league. We've scored 1 goal in 3 games. Everyone was crying out for a striker, and people will say, yeah, it will Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When he's fit, he'll be firing. I understand that. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a decent player, but is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Metcha, and Joel Perreault enough to keep you in the league, or are we just Leeds United bias? Other people now, other sort of people in the media, in the football world, look at Leeds now, and what's to get excited about in our front line? We've got a solid foundation with the back line. The back line looks good. Midfield looks solid. But how are we starting a season in the Premier League, arguably with a worse front three than we did in the Championship? I think Manor Solomon's probably better than Dan James and Nonto in the Premier League, maybe. And I just think we've been left short when we were already against the odds, when we didn't need a transfer window like this. For the last 2 weeks, they've been sitting on their hands. Realistically, they have. And I'm not buying into this, how much they tried all day. You shouldn't be getting down to deadline day to get the 2 attacking signings that we needed. Everyone knows we needed a 10 or like a creative midfielder. Everyone knows we needed a striker or a winger to replace Manor Solomon. He's been wanting to replace Manor Solomon. Yes, we got in Noah Okafor, but again, injury prone. As you can tell, I'm not happy. But I do think now you've got to back the boys that we've got. You've got to back the manager. And yes, it's going to get difficult. We'll play some games. We'll lose some games. And I don't think Farke is obviously going to fully get away with everything. If you don't see changes in his style of play and things like that, that's fair enough. But this, I don't think, can be blamed on him. You can blame the rest of the results for the rest of up until January, maybe, on him in parts. But he'll be saying, listen, I asked for it. I didn't get it. And it's a similar thing with him at Norwich. He didn't get the money to spend. Yes, we spent 100 million. It makes me sound so like, I don't know, first world problems that we spent 100 million. It's still not enough. They promised Daniel Farke something and they didn't give it to him. And now he's the scapegoat for this club. If we get 4 or 5 losses in a row in the next 4 or 5 games, Farke will go. And if that's best for the club, I don't know. But the 49ers have let you down. They've let me down. They've let Daniel Farke down. I don't mind again, I'm going to reiterate the point that I don't mind the signings we've made. I like the signings we made, but it's not enough. Even Harry Wilson wasn't enough. It wasn't a marquee signing we promised. Now we've got to wait till January. In the Premier League, you could be down by January. I just think we've made this task, an already kind of impossible task, even harder. And I'm disappointed. We go into the international break, 4 points on the board. Credit to Daniel Farke and the team, but he needed more. We needed more, but we didn't get it. It's now going to be a tough slog up until January. This team, you see, without Tanaka and Ampadu, yes, we can still play. Yes, there's Gruev. Yes, there's Longstaff that comes in. But Dan, James, Nonto, and Metro or Perreault and stuff, that there needs to be more goals there. They've been let down. That's where I stand on it. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to smash that like button. On your way out, subscribe if you're new as well. And over the next week or so, I'll try and do some videos while the international break's happening. But yeah, how to get that out there, get my feelings across, and let you guys know what's up. I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been excellent, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheery. Oh.